it's time to ask ourselves a question. How much of our life is centered around wanting what other people want? And what does that do to our life? We hear people often say comparison kills and stop comparing your life to others. If you walk into a bookstore or a library in the self-help section, there's millions of books about how comparison kills the joy of our life. And I get it. But I even bet that some of the authors of those books catch themselves comparing their lives to others occasionally. Whether it's TV, media, or advertisers, they all make money on us, and they all make money by us comparing ourselves and finding that ourselves are lesser. Whether it's the clothes, the house, the car, the job, the vacation, the marriage, the children, anything we can compare ourselves with. And when we compare ourselves, how do we begin to feel? Because I know for a fact, I begin to feel lesser than. I feel a little lousy, a little down, behind the eight ball, feeling very unfulfilled in my day-to-day life. And I also find myself working very hard to get to that next level. However, unfortunately, that next level fluctuates because I never really find happiness in what I have. I keep wanting to get what they have and what they have and more and more and more. And I'm still feeling lesser than, and I still feel like I can't compete. So how do we begin to stop comparison, and how do we begin to see what's really happening in our own life? I think the first thing that we can do is when we want something, whether it's that car or that house or that specific vacation, ask yourself, if I get this, whatever that is, XYZ, will that make my life really, really better? Okay? The second thing is to ask myself, because I do this, is advertising or is TV, is that kind of making me want to have XYZ? Is it an outside source that's telling me that I need to have more? Because that makes it easier and more palatable, because then I realize it's not just me intrinsically finding that I'm lesser than, but it's actually, I realize that companies are actually making me want to feel that way so that they can sell their product or service. Last but not least, is when we feel down and we feel low, is to realize that we have a lot going for us and to find the gratitude in what we already have. Because there's an interesting caveat to life, is that if we want to get better or we want to get more and we want it to be lasting, we have to actually find true gratitude and respect for what we already have. Otherwise, we really can't move up. Because when you think about it, it's like a mouse on a wheel. You keep going for something that doesn't really exist. You're always looking for the bigger, better deal, when in reality, what you have is a pretty nice deal. So once we realize what we have in our own life, being grateful for it on a daily basis and understanding that, at that point we can move up in our life, but it's also going to be lasting. As well as we'll also realize when we're being sold a bill of goods, that's not intrinsically coming from our own mind. Remember this and live your true life today.